Khalid ibn al-Walid, before the battle started, Khalid parks his army on the Euphrates River. And of course the Romans and Persians are like, no, we're not going to fight you from the river. And he needs them to cross because he needs the river to be an advantage. He's got 15,000 men. The two armies combined are roughly 150,000. He's outnumbered 10 to 1. He needs to use the terrain as much as he can in this circumstance. Like, it should have been impossible. This should have been the end of his army and him. He breaks his army into 3 units, same commanders, Al-Minhar and Qaqah. At the river, that part of the river bent, so there was like this natural curve. And then what Khalid did was he took the infantry and he backed it up away from the river. He had a 3rd cavalry unit that he put behind it. When the Romans and the Persians saw that he had made space for him, because he's very welcoming, you know, in the Middle East it's important to be a good host. When they see that he's made the space for them, they go, okay, let's start crossing. They cross, they cross, they cross. Khalid's goal was to prevent the Persian army from forming into one unit. Here, he does the opposite. Now, he's trying to get the Romans and the Persians across in a really large number. He'll attack them when they're small. He waits till there's 50,000 men across. So they outnumber more than 3 to 1. And then he orders the attack. And then he takes his infantry and he runs them up against the Persians and the Romans. The infantry is mostly just supposed to hold them in place. They're fighting, but it's gentle fighting. They're not being aggressive. Then he takes his cavalry and he charges it straight at the infantry. The Arab infantry know to make multiple gaps in the line so that Khalid's cavalry, when it hits, it'll hit the Romans and Persians. When he hits them, he pushes them back because of the weight of the horses and the men. And then he pulls back. He turns his cavalry around and he charges again. And every time he does this, he pushes the Persians and the Romans further and further back, and he's compressing them into a smaller and smaller space and too close to use their weapon. So when they realize they've been trapped, the river behind them is cut off because there's these 2 cavalry forces fighting their way to the bridge, they panic. Having 50,000 men turn all at the same time, their bones were breaking. They were being crushed to death. They were trampled. Persians and Romans are jumping into the river, and then Khalid with the infantry and the cavalry behind are just attacking them as they retreat. Khalid's goal was just to compress them. He wasn't trying to kill them. Ultimately, the rest of the Roman and Persian army just run away.